So, as a result of my experience, I came to this conclusion. We are both biological and we are also spiritual. What I mean with the biological is obviously your body, your brain, your organs, muscles, all of this. What I mean with the spiritual side in my story is really the idea that you are your own mind, your thoughts, and in particular also your emotions and your soul. I want to add to that almost as well. And so if we look at it like that, the human existence is a very big deal. And if we don't exercise, your entire spiritual side goes down.
Yeah.
If you focus too much on the spiritual as well,
Yeah.
chasing emotional gratification every time,
Yeah.
then you neglect your body as well. So whether you spend too much time on the spiritual or too much time on the physical, either way, you're going to mess up. So what I've learned and what I've agreed to now for is create a balance between the two.
Yeah.
So that is where I am mostly for this problem. At least that's my conviction as such. What are your thoughts on that?
I do a lot of group session and then have a PowerPoint and then to the policemen, to the teachers, and then we have a PowerPoint. The first page always say this: your health, is the mental health and the physical health together. Yeah, so both of these are important. Yeah, you can't just have the physical, but your mental health will just mess up. Yeah, you can't do like that too. And then you can't just have a very healthy, mental health, but you're lying in the bed all the time. Yeah, just this is not core healthy. Yeah.
All right, so then, when it comes to the topic of nutrition, there's so much, I believe, that one can unpack from it. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry online is talking about what to eat, how to make this kind of special juice. It's good for you, but there's so much information out there that it creates a kind of, I'm going to say, nutrition overload. And I found that over the years, it's far better just to simplify everything and get back to the point.
True.
So my question for you now is, what is nutrition, and how would you define it, and what are the most important parts of it, please?
Yes. I would say nutrition is a very complicated subject. Yeah, maybe you don't know about this, but when I was a student, we have a new biological chemistry textbook like this. Can you imagine that? 2,700 pages. Yeah.
Must have been expensive too, man.
Of course, we know that. Yeah, everything just worth a lot of money, and so nutrition is a very complicated thing, and the subject is still growing and growing and growing as the scientists finding different and new things for your own body every year, every decade, and then they just grow it faster and faster. So you can't actually, maybe you will never finish learning about these things. But as I just simplifies it, actually nutrition is just like what you eat and when you eat. Yeah.
What you eat and when you eat.
Yes.
That's interesting. So obviously the what you eat, I understand that part. But the when you eat?
Our timing is very important.
Please explain the timing.
Yeah, for example, like if you work like a normal person, say like go to work from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, so 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Yeah, the work time is like these 8 hours, and you need a breakfast. And as we all know all around the world, every culture, every people in every country, people will eat breakfast. Why? Because they need to work at 9 o'clock, maybe 8. And then so you know the first thing you wake up is drinking the water and then have the breakfast. Yeah, right? So that you will have your energy to go to work, right? Now this is the timing. The energy you get is on the food, and then the food you need to prepare and get into the body. You need 45 minutes, 1 hour to
digest.
Yeah. You need to digest or absorb into your body. Yeah, all the chemical support for your food like carbohydrate, fat, and protein will go into your body, providing the things that you need, providing the energy you need, and then so that you can work better, live better. Yeah.
You see, a few years ago, I worked as a language coach at a hospital
Mm.
in Xi'an. And this was for a bunch of endocrinologists, the hormone doctors.
Hormone doctors. Okay.
And what I learned there was astounding how food, or nutrition you would,
Mm.
influences the hormones
It is true.
quite a lot.
Yes.
And I was surprised at the time because when I first walked in there, I didn't realize this.
Mm.
I learned it as I was going along. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. And then it dawned on me that, yes, it's true. Your mood, your emotions,
Yeah.
how you feel every day is controlled
Mhm.
by hormones, which in turn is very much influenced
Yes.
by your nutrition.
True.
So when you said now it is about what you eat, but also when you eat it,
Mm.
I found that very interesting.
Mhm.
Timing wise, so let's say I take a pizza.
Mm.
If I eat this pizza in the morning or if I eat this pizza late at night, say 9 p.m., 10 p.m.,
Mhm.
what would be the best time of a day to eat a pizza?
Oh, definitely in the middle of the time, right? So
Okay.
these are considered as a heavy food because
Mm.
no matter the size is pizza will have the carbohydrate, made it by bread,
Of
grain,
course, yeah.
and then you put meat on it, pork rib, or maybe seafood.
Um,
Yeah, so it's protein and fat. Inside sometimes you even put more, salt, some minor stuff, and then the cheese. The cheese
Mhm.
is that the protein and the fat as well. So
Mhm.
it's all of these are important to your body.
it's a high energy food.
Yes, very high. So I would say that it was more for lunch food than a breakfast food or yeah. And
Or late
also
night dinner.
late night dinner. We can so 宵夜 in Chinese, right? Yeah, which is it's not healthy if you.
So, okay, in your opinion, what would happen
Mhm.
if I eat that pizza at 10 p.m. in the evening?
Oh yeah, if you eat food like this at 10 p.m. and then you fall asleep around 11, let's say 11 and 30,
Yeah.
you have only have 1 hour and 1.5 hour.
Mm.
Like just I say previously, you have only 45. You need to 45 minutes to digest your food. So by the time 45 minutes done, your body finish absorb everything,
Mm.
and your carbohydrate go into your blood, and your fat too, protein too, and then your body's the hormones change, and then by the time you go to sleep. So the extra energy, like say carbohydrate and fat, they will have to go to transfer to fat so that you will save the energy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is the function of a human
Uh-huh.
being.
So you're saying that if you eat the pizza too late and you go to sleep, your body had no time to digest
To use it, yes. you're
or
right.
even use it, right?
Yeah.
To either digest or use it. So as a result, it will be transformed into fat.
Yeah, so this is the most reason that people
This is why you don't eat pizza at night time.
True. Yeah. So eat it in the afternoon. Yeah. In the lunchtime.
Well, yes, of course, because then you're actually going to use the damage.
Yeah.
Right.
Physically using
This
the
is the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so, of course, I won't say people need to eat pizza every day. Of course not.
Yeah, it's too heavy.
Of course not.
Mm.
But let's talk about food now in terms of the famous 5 food groups. What are the 5 food groups?
Oh, usually you just consider this 5 times like the protein. I will prefer to call it meat because
Okay, so meats.
yeah,
Some
meat.
food, yeah.
Usually you get the protein from the meat. Or of course, you can also get protein from the seafood and fish as well. So I just consider them as meat as well.
Sure.
And the second thing supposed to be grain, which is carbohydrate, your rice, your noodles,
Okay.
your bread,
The
and
pizza.
pizza. Yes, you're right. And of course the vegetables and the fruits as well. These 2 kinds.
Yeah.
And then the last one supposed to be dairy.
Good.
Yeah, which is like cheese and milk, and I would put eggs inside that.
Of course.
Yes. Okay. So,
All right, so what are the benefits of each of these food groups?
Mhm.
If we look at proteins from meats,
yes.
what are the benefits there?
Usually we eat meat to get enough protein
Mm.
because we have a saying like the human being can only absorb the protein form easier for the animal than from the vegetables and plants.
So animal protein is absorbed better
Then
in the
yes,
body
you're right. Yeah.
than from vegetables.
Yes, because in the protein for the meat, you will have more amino acids. So for the meat from animals, you will easier to get the full form of the amino acids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the plant, it's not. We call it complete protein and less complete protein. Yes, which is so that's why the meat from animals will be easier to absorb because your stomach and your organ can only absorb the protein with full amino acids. If you have one less, then you can't absorb it well. Yeah, so it's very important for you to eat, meat, especially for the beef, for the pigs, and a little bit further away, like the birds, like chicken, goose.
Yeah.
Even a little more further, like
The vegetarians among us are not going to like that.
yeah, so for vegetarian, they will have to eat a lot of, vegetable, hard one with the protein, like broccoli, and the beans. Beans have protein as well, but not full. And then they will need to drink a lot of milk as well. Milk considered as a completed protein as well, and eggs as well. So for the people who have problems, or they will need to follow the vegan diet.
So for people who are vegetarian or vegan, they would need to increase their intake of dairy.
Dairy, yes. So
For what reason?
for the protein.
Because if they don't eat meat protein, their bodies can get the other protein from plants and dairy,
Yeah, but it's not.
they don't absorb it as fast
Well.
as if it is
Yes.
with meat.
Yeah,
Right.
not good enough at least.
Not
Yeah.
well enough.
Yeah, not well enough. Yes, at least.
That
And
is so interesting. I did not know that. Okay.
okay, and so they will need a lot of milk and eggs because the eggs, the white for the eggs and the milk, especially skim milk. Yeah, the protein is easier for people to absorb as well. So that's why baby need these two.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very there are many people who are vegetarians or vegans because they have to be.
Mhm,
Right.
yes.
They really desire to be, and I understand that, right? So with grains, we do mention the fact that it is about bread.
Mhm.
It is about your pasta, your noodles, right?
Yeah. The noodles made by flour, they are easier to absorb it, and the rice is less easy it's more difficult to absorb this rice. And the potatoes, they also consider it as the grain as well because they full of carbohydrate as well. But the carbohydrate with a lot of fiber. So it's not easy to absorb as well. So they are the low GI, middle GI, and the high GI. So noodle is good. We call it high GI food.
The high GI foods.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, let's go on to vegetables. Now, of course, I know many people in China are not big fans of vegetables. But
Oh, I don't think so. There's a lot of
there are so many people around the world that are also not fans. of
That's
vegetables.
true.
But
Yeah.
over time, I mean, no child likes a vegetable. This is definitely true.
True. Yeah.
So even all this food, this is my point, a good chef can really learn to make all this really taste very well.
True. Yeah.
Even when vegetables are fundamentally boring. People are living such fast lives these days. It's very hard for them to find the time to actually cook. And I totally understand that, which is why all these street pop-up restaurants are so,
Yeah.
incredibly famous. And of course, the food they make are wonderful dishes and meals. But of course, way too oily as well. in some
True.
places.
For some flavor, you know that. Taste and yeah.
But what's that one thing that the Maggie? The Maggie that you put on.
King of flavor.
King of flavor. Thank you, Uncle Roger.
Yes.
We do love that. So, all right. The last one I want to talk about is fruits. Now, we already kind of spoke about dairy already, so we don't have to go into that. But the last one I want to talk about is fruits, where we talk about what's the point. So, of course, people love fruits because the taste is more sweeter, right?
Great. Yes.
All of that, especially things like strawberries, etc., etc. But what would you say are the key reasons why we need to have fruit as part of our daily diet.
Broccoli, you only can absorb the fiber and then the protein inside there. Yeah, and very little of calcium something. Very little.
Okay.
And for the fruit like banana, can get a lot of sugar. The sugar is easier for you to absorb that to make you energize up. To make up your energy faster, and then also the potassium, which is good for your heart and muscle. Yes.
Okay.
So for the fruit, it's always go with the carbohydrate sugar, basically, to raise up your blood sugar a little faster, so that you will have more energy. And then the mineral things to help your muscle, your heart, and then your daily health as well. And then the water is very important for the body to keep your muscle working well, to nerve working well, which is very important. So fruit has more value. So the fruits has more value than a vegetable. Actually, I would say, yeah, but they are same equally important. So you can't just eat one of these. You need to eat both. Yeah.
I think actually people prefer fruits to vegetables.
I would say yes.
Simply because it tastes better.
Tastes much better. Yeah, which is the most important reason.
Well, but if you go and you choose between carrots and strawberries, which one's going to sell better?
Of course, it's strawberries.
Most people, I guess, they're going to go with the strawberries one.
I am a fan of carrot as well, but yeah, I would say, yeah, why not buy fruits? Fruits are better.
Well, yeah, this is exactly why people put bananas together with their protein powder and make
True. Protein shake.
make themselves a protein shake. Yeah, with the banana inside it, because it does give you that energy kick before you need to go exercise.
True, this is it, yeah.
But now let's talk about this. People who go to gym like you and me, people who love to exercise, there's usually the idea of different kinds of protein shakes. Right? There's the generic one, which is the whey protein, and then you get the casein protein, which I like the most.
Yeah.
And then you get the pea protein, which is also interesting.